Cleveland just got hit with a bombshell, and this time, it didn't come from the front office or the media. It came straight from one of the Browns' biggest stars, Jerry Jeudy. In a stunning moment, Jeudy broke his silence on the team's ongoing quarterback drama and came out swinging, calling out head coach Kevin Stefanski and standing firmly behind Shedeur Sanders. For weeks, fans have speculated, reporters have whispered, and insiders have hinted. But no one inside the locker room dared to speak out, until now. Jeudy didn't mince words. He openly questioned why Shedeur, a player who's done everything right, is still stuck on the sidelines. He called out the confusion, the politics, and the lack of trust coming from the coaching staff, especially now that Joe Flacco is gone and the quarterback room feels wide open. To Jeudy, it's simple. Shedeur's earned it. He's been there since OTAs. He's shown up every day. He's done everything the team's asked, so why is he still waiting? And that's where the story turns from sports to something deeper. Because when a veteran like Jeudy, a respected high-profile receiver, breaks rank and goes public, it's not just frustration. It's rebellion. It's a signal that the locker room is starting to lose faith in leadership. Within hours, Jeudy's comments spread like wildfire. Social media lit up, analysts weighed in, and fans immediately took sides. Some praised him for saying what everyone's been thinking. Others warned it could ignite a full-blown locker room feud. But one thing's clear, Jeudy's not alone. Other stars are starting to echo his words, quietly backing Shedeur in what's becoming the biggest internal power shift the Browns have faced all season. What was once a simple quarterback question is now something much bigger. A test of loyalty, leadership, and belief in the future. And with every passing day, the tension in Cleveland grows thicker. Because the more players who speak out, the more it looks like this isn't just about who starts, it's about who the team really believes in. Inside the Browns locker room, the tension is starting to show. What was once quiet frustration has now turned into an undeniable split. And it all circles back to Shedeur Sanders. On one side, you've got the veterans, players like Jerry Jeudy and Myles Garrett, openly backing the young quarterback, praising his maturity, his dedication, and his leadership beyond his years. On the other side, you've got head coach Kevin Stefanski and parts of his staff still clinging to the idea that Shedeur isn't ready. But here's the thing. Everyone inside that locker room knows who's been putting in the work. They see Shedeur showing up before sunrise, watching film long after practice, and earning the respect of his teammates the hard way. It's made some uncomfortable, especially those who think Stefanski favoritism is holding the team back. Now, the Browns aren't just fighting for wins. They're fighting for unity. Because when players start picking sides, it's not just a football issue anymore, it's a leadership crisis. The veterans have seen enough, and they're not staying silent anymore. Jerry Jeudy was the first to go public. But what he said pulled the curtain back on how much respect Shedeur Sanders has already earned inside that locker room. Jeudy didn't just defend him, he praised him. He talked about how Shedeur's been there since OTAs, putting in work when no one was watching, learning the playbook like a pro, and showing up every single day ready to compete. To Jeudy, Shedeur isn't some rookie learning the ropes. He's a leader in the making. Then came Myles Garrett, one of the most respected voices on the team. Garrett talked about seeing Shedeur in the building before anyone else, studying film, meeting with coaches, asking questions. That kind of effort doesn't go unnoticed, especially from a young quarterback stepping into a tough environment. Garrett said it best. He's always in the coach's office, preparing for his moment. These aren't empty compliments. When stars like Jeudy and Garrett speak, people listen. And right now, they're saying what fans have been thinking, that Shedeur Sanders has earned his shot. When Kevin Stefanski finally addressed the quarterback situation, his words were meant to calm the storm, but they only made things worse. He claimed his decisions were about player development and doing what's best for the team. But to fans and analysts, it sounded more like damage control. Stefanski insisted that Shedeur was still learning and not quite ready. Yet his actions told a different story. He's been more willing to gamble on less prepared players like Quinshon Judkins, who didn't even complete a full training camp, while keeping Shedeur glued to the bench. The contradictions have become impossible to ignore. If Stefanski truly believed in letting players prove themselves, then Shedeur's consistent work ethic, maturity, and leadership should have earned him more than a clipboard role. Instead, Stefanski's cautious approach feels like fear disguised as strategy, a refusal to hand over control to someone younger, sharper, and hungrier. And the locker room sees it. Every time Stefanski gives another vague excuse, he's not protecting the team, he's dividing it. His defense of the status quo has become the very thing tearing the Browns apart. If Kevin Stefanski thought the pressure inside the building was bad, the media turned it into firestorm. Analysts like Dan Orlovsky went straight for the jugular, questioning why Shedeur Sanders hadn't even been locked in as QB2, let alone given a chance to start. Orlovsky called it a missed opportunity for a franchise that keeps tripping over its own potential. He wasn't alone. Across ESPN, FS1, and social media, the narrative was the same. What are the Browns waiting for? Every press conference turned into an interrogation. Reporters pressed Stefanski about the so-called development plan, and his vague responses only fueled the headlines. Meanwhile, highlight reels of Shedeur's practices flooded online. Every pinpoint throw, every confident huddle moment dissected and celebrated by fans who are growing impatient. Even rival teams are starting to notice. Rumors suggest scouts have been quietly watching Cleveland's practices, knowing that if the Browns don't wake up, someone else will. The spotlight has shifted. It's no longer about Stefanski's system or Dillon Gabriel's role. It's about Shedeur Sanders, and when he'll finally get the chance everyone knows he deserves. What started as quiet whispers in the Browns facility has now turned into open frustration. Players who once kept their opinions private are now showing visible signs of tension in body language, in interviews, and even in the huddle. Some veterans have stopped hiding their disappointment, and younger players are quietly aligning themselves with Shedeur Sanders, who's become the symbol of the change they want to see. Behind closed doors, insiders claim that practice sessions have grown tense. When Shedeur takes reps, the energy shifts, louder, sharper, more focused. But when he's benched during scrimmage sets, that energy deflates instantly. It's not just about talent anymore. It's about trust and belief. The locker room believes in Shedeur, maybe more than the head coach does. Meanwhile, Stefanski continues to insist that everything is under control, but his tone feels forced. It's becoming clear that this isn't just a quarterback controversy. It's a full-blown identity crisis. The Browns are walking a fine line between discipline and disaster. And if this tension keeps growing, the real question won't be about who starts at quarterback. It'll be about who loses the locker room first. Cleveland fans have always been passionate, but now they're furious. The Shedeur Sanders situation has gone from a locker room debate to a full-scale public revolt. Every time the Browns post on social media, the comment sections flood with one demand: start Shedeur. Fans are tired of the same cautious approach and are calling out Stefanski directly, accusing him of holding back the team's future. Local talk shows and fan podcasts have turned into war rooms. Analysts are replaying practice clips frame by frame, comparing Shedeur's precision and composure to Gabriel's inconsistency. Every throw, every sideline expression, it's all under a microscope. The crowd at games has even started chanting his name, creating a tension that no coach can ignore. And then there's the merchandise. Shedeur jerseys are outselling half the team's starters, despite him barely playing a snap. It's clear the city has chosen its quarterback. The fans have turned Shedeur Sanders into a movement, and the Browns front office is now in the crosshairs. If the team keeps ignoring the noise, it might not just lose games, it might lose the faith of an entire city. At this point, keeping Shedeur Sanders on the sidelines isn't just a coaching decision, it's a ticking time bomb. Everyone inside and outside the Browns organization can feel it. The owner wants results, the The fans want change, and the locker room, even rival scouts are buzzing. Rumors suggest that multiple teams, including the Raiders and Falcons, have been quietly inquiring about Shedeur's availability. Should Cleveland keep him benched? The league can see what the Browns somehow can't. Shedeur has it. The confidence, the control, the composure, the qualities every franchise searches for in a quarterback. If the Browns don't act soon, they risk repeating the same mistake they've made for years, letting their future slip through their fingers. Shedeur Sanders isn't just another prospect. He's a potential franchise changer waiting for his moment. And if that moment doesn't come in Cleveland, it will somewhere else. Because one thing's clear, you can't keep a star in the shadows forever. The clock is ticking, and the next decision the Browns make could define their entire future. The Cleveland Browns have reached a crossroads, one that could determine the direction of the entire franchise. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a name on the roster anymore. He's the heartbeat of a fan base, the spark of a locker room, and the storyline the whole league is watching. Everyone knows he's ready. Everyone but the man with the headset. Kevin Stefanski's cautious approach might be protecting his playbook, but it's slowly burning his credibility. You can feel the tension growing, from the front office to the fans in the stands. Each week Shedeur stays on the bench, the calls for change get louder, sharper, and impossible to ignore. If the Browns finally hand him the keys, they could ignite something special, a revival built around talent, leadership, and belief. But if they don't, they won't just lose games, they'll lose their future. Because in Cleveland right now, this isn't just about football, it's about faith. Faith in the next man up, and faith that the Browns still have the courage to chase greatness.